The dragon ring. How to quote this ring. You may have heard the story by now. A customer came in with this image, described how they wanted a ring made with a dragon head on it. They wanted the horns of the dragon to actually be the prongs to hold the center stone. With some time, the customer sat down with the sales associate. They came up with different, they brainstormed and ultimately came up with this basic idea. And this is really as good as what you want to do. You want to try and draw the ring from multiple angles, the top, front, and side view, with some description, some words. We have the Celtic knot also becomes part of the prong here on the side. European shank. Down here you have a design that resembles a Celtic knot. It comes out of the dragon's mouth like a tongue. So that's basically the detail. A few more items that are picked up on the custom quote calculator. The metal, finger size, a center stone supplied by store, and so on. And there's other details that will be captured. But that's the basic idea. So how would you quote this? After logging into Boost Up Custom, this is the profile page. I do want to zoom down here and just show, here we have the markup. Right now it's set at 1, which would equal your cost. You never want to leave it at 1. I only show this for the video. Even if you put it on 1, you will confuse yourself or someone will forget inevitably. I would never leave it on 1. For the sake of this video, I'm going to put it on 3 and hit submit. Okay, it's on 3. So, menu, custom quote calculator. Let's quote this. What are we designing today? A feminine ring or a masculine ring? This is a lady's ring. Next. Center stone supplied by the store. Now, I do want to emphasize and explain the differences here for training purposes. If the store is supplying the center stone, which in this case they are, we're assuming that the center stone is priced and sold separately, in other words, outside of the scope of the custom quote calculator. So the calculator would be calculating the ring, sort of like a semi-mount ring. If we select the store, we actually do offer a slight setting discount, versus if the customer supplies the center stone, we actually charge a little bit more in labor to set the center stone. And there's a little bit of risk that goes into setting someone else's center stone, or of course the option would be no center stone. But in this case, the store is supplying the center stone, sold and priced separately. Center stone setting style. Now, it's important to note, select one option that best describes your design. You will not find a dragon head on here. It's not a separate crown. It's not a halo. It's not a 3-stone. It's not invisible set. Custom prongs. Yeah, maybe. Not tension, not bezel, not flush, not bead set. Yep, we're going with custom prongs. Next. Ring shape. Select one option that best describes your design. Not very simple. Not like a men's band. Super simple. Straight and simple. Possibly. Let's go back and look at that design. Got a European shank. Looks like maybe it's probably rounded. It doesn't say that. It probably should say rounded, but maybe rounded. It gets a little bit wider. It's thinner at the bottom, wider at the top. So straight and simple, not really. Straight and detailed, maybe. I'm leaning towards that option. Angled, not really. Signet ring, no. Not curvy, not twisty, not very twisty. Now you might be tempted to select twisty here because of what's going on with the dragon tongue, but don't worry, we will pick that up later. Right now we're just talking the basic shape of the ring. I'm going to call it straight and detailed. Design elements. We have that Celtic detail on the side, talking right here. We also have some detail here. I'm going to call it filigree sides. You might want to call it Celtic knot. It's up to you. The idea is to just get as close as you can. Select all that apply. Next. Custom objects. Select all that apply. We We have animals. In fact, we use the dragon head ring for this example. We have animals. We don't have flowers, anything organic. We don't have any symbols like a logo, something like that. Next. Special finishing, other than typical polish. No hand engraving, no inside message, no outside message, no special finish. Skip. Side width measurement. Now ideally, this will be picked up by the custom the custom checklist. It's not listed here. I am going to call this 6.5 millimeters at the top. 6.7 millimeters at the top. At the bottom, we'll call it 3.5. Is it open or solid? It is solid. Finger size 6 1/4, I believe. Scrolling down. Yep, 6 1/4. So there's a few ways to do this. I'm going to show a quick way. If I click in that square or in the field and type 6, I get all the 6 options. 6 1/4 like that. Or you can simply just scroll. I like to type. Next, shank options. Standard round. No, it's a European shank. It's not open. This is kind of a rare option. Sometimes you'll see it with fashion jewelry. Next, average heavy or light ring. Maybe you could call that average. Maybe you could call it heavy because we do have some big shoulders with the dragon heads. Definitely, I would not call that light. You could go average or heavy. I'm going to say heavy just in case. I always want to err on the side of protecting myself. However, you may have a case to where you know that price is kind of an issue, so maybe you want to go light or go average, not light, average. I'm going to say heavy. Metal options. It's one tone. It was rose gold. I'm going to say 14 karat rose. Now this picks up the current price of metals on the market. So it's updated hourly. So you can know that it's going to be priced according to the current metal markets. Does the design hold side diamonds? No, this one does not. There's a lot going on, but it's basically a solitaire ring. Approval method. Now this is important to understand. Your bullseye is the sketch. You want to do the sketch. Ideally, you'll want to even do the sketch before you open up the custom quote calculator because you need to know what it is you're trying to design. However, I do want to quickly go over these. Not required. Very, very rarely will you have a not required because you'll want to at least sketch it. You want to be on the same page. But periodically, you might get something that's so simple to communicate. Sketch is the bullseye. You aim to sell it by the sketch. You may have to promise one of these later options in order to close the sale. I would start with the CAD screenshot first. It's cheaper for the customer than the computer-generated image. The computer-generated image is cheaper than the 3D print. If we have to make a change, if they've changed their mind, it just creates more of a headache when you promise all these extra things. In the very far right bottom is casting. It would be a very rare situation where somebody wants to see a casting, and I wouldn't even promise anything beyond that in terms of making a change. That's a really long way to say the sketch is the bullseye. Done. We have a price quote generated here based on the information that we put in.